What is going on, peeps? Your man Versatile is back with another video, back here to talk about yet another game, and that is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, exclusively for PS5 to showcase more of the power of the PS5. And you see that with its performance ray tracing mode. I'm coming right out the gate with that. A way for you to play the game, quality mode, performance, and performance RT, which is ray tracing. Again, you get 1440p with ray tracing, and you notice the difference between that and performance, and you notice the difference between quality and ray tracing performance. There's a lot of mouth words there going on, all right? But before we get into additional details as to why this game is such a masterpiece, and I feel like it should have got more credit at the Game Awards after playing it. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you never miss my videos or my live streams, so that way we can sit back, chillax, and see what's cracking. And let me know down in the comment section below, have you played any of the Ratchet and Clank games across any of the generations? And have you played the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for PS5 yet? Do you even have a PS5? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, let's get into the review. This game is so good. Initially, because this game came with the bundle that I got with my PS5. Great bundle, not mad at it. The problem is, I wasn't really trying to play the game. I was ready to immediately turn this game back in, right? Nothing against Ratchet. I liked Ratchet, actually. But my brother is way more enthused with Ratchet and Clank than I was. I was a big Jak and Dexter guy, really Jak 2 and Jak 3. And I did like the game, but I didn't really want to do that much in it. I just wanted to kind of play it. It was cool. I can barely remember the story. The only really person I remember was Captain Quirk, and to some degree Nefarious, but I would get him and the guy from Crash, you know, mixed up along the way. I would always interchange them. So for me, Ratchet was cool, but it was not a game that I really wanted to play like that. So I popped it in, and I was like, you know what? I have it. Just run through it, and then take it on to GameStop, because I live at GameStop. I go up there. I like hanging out at GameStop. I hope GameStop continues to thrive and succeed. And you go up there, game, and it's a social space for gaming. I hope that it really can evolve into that. So I popped it in. I popped Ratchet in, back on story. Pop it in. The immediate story beat won me over. Why? Performance ray tracing mode, or in other words, the graphics that we about to get on PS5. All right. The graphics are so good. This game looked like a Pixar game, like a Pixar movie. Like, that's how legit Ratchet and Clank looked like. And one of the things that I immediately noticed between Ratchet and Rivet, right? Rivet's the other Lombax. You find out through the story beat there's dimensional rifts, and you find out there's another Lombax. The immediate difference that you notice between the two is the hair strands. The hair strand technology that they have in this game to make the little furry creatures on Sargasso, which is Rivet's home planet, basically. The difference between the hair on those little fellas, the hair on Rivet, and the hair on Ratchet are so dynamically different in the way they just kind of form, the way they formulate. Like, it was so, like, Ratchet has a little bit more whisker-esque hair on him and in his face, and you could see the texture. It was like, is this real? Are these talking animals? Like, it was so legit. Rivet was much more sleek. You didn't really see a lot of that, and it maybe was kind of establishing, you know, a male Lombax versus a female Lombax. But you notice that detail, and then the fur on the other little creatures was just so realistic. I mean, they look like little Goombas with hair, but they look so legit. All the voice acting was amazing. The story in this is very clever, very clean, it kind of pulls on your feels just a little bit in terms of Ratchet and Rivet's relationship, Ratchet and Clank's relationship, and then another character that Rivet interchanges with, and then their overall relationship, along with other characters that are established in Ratchet's dimension that you come across in Rivet's dimension, and all of it, you just felt the synergy. You felt like Insomniac really cares about their Ratchet franchise, their Ratchet and Clank franchise. This I don't want to call it universe. I guess you could, because this was the multiverse, and the platinum trophy for this is Masters of the Multiverse, which I got. I accidentally platinum Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Why? Because not only as you're playing this, you feel the fluidity, the smoothness, the ray tracing, the shadows in the eyes along Clank. You see the shadows, the reflections of things off of all of that, right? It just clean, right? The gameplay was so smooth and fluid. Bing, 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 bing. All the little different sounds. The audio design for this game was spectacular, both in terms of the dimensional rifts, the weapons you use, the wrench, your bolts, the noises from the bolts, the enemies that you fight all having distinctive sounds, the planets having distinctive feelings and eeriness to some of them. It was so good. It was so well wrapped in this package of just a game case. As I was playing it and I was looking at the trophies to get, what Insomniac did, which was so clever, so intuitive in my opinion, so right to do, because if you want to put this stuff in the game and you want players to at least attempt to have some small level of challenge or to appreciate all this development into the game, well, make it worthwhile for them to actually try to get it. So the maps actually displayed where you could find certain items to establish or to obtain certain trophies. I hate when you can't find none of this stuff but they want you to go and find it. It's like, no, I'd rather just direct, let me see it on the map, pin it, and get on over there to it, right? You put it in the game, make us want to go get it. And Insomniac said, we're gonna put the markers where you can get certain these items and you go collect them, and then you can get other in-game merchandise that plays a role in the game. So nothing was really there was no fluff from that perspective. Everything had a point. The only fluff I will say for Ratchet and Clank was how you get the last two weapons to get the platinum. That I thought I saw a shadow there for a second. That's the only thing I did not like. I wish you could have just bought them towards the end of the game to fight Nefarious, and that's pretty much it. In order to get that, you have to complete the game and then go into challenge mode, which is basically New Game Plus. Use your save file that it's gonna want to establish that off of. Then you quickly play through the first sequence of the beginning of the game again, and then go talk to what's her name, Mrs. Zircon or something like that. You talk to her, and then you can buy the last two items, and then you can actually upgrade your previous items, especially if they're already level, like max level, and you can upgrade them, I guess, again one more time or something, but for a ton of credits or a ton of bolts. So that's the other thing, like how you gonna get all these bolts? But that's how you can do that there. So I guess you could play this game just several times, just upgrade all your weapons and just be a beast in the game, I guess. But that's the only piece of fluff I would say I didn't like. I wish you could have collected that before the New Game Plus. And even if you wanted to establish New Game Plus, you could, but it wasn't dependent on you having to start that. That's the only thing. But other than that, everything else had a meaningful purpose. The armor you get have bonuses on them. When you collect the gears and you collect the full set, you get bonuses. And then when you collect the bolts, I collected 23 out of 25. Again, by accident. Once I see I can explore something, I'll explore it. That's why I kind of like open world story linear games, if you will, where I can still explore the story, but there is a central throughput line still, and I kind of feel like that's what Ratchet and Clank is, you know what I mean? Or like a Last of Us, you know, stuff like that. Horizon much more open world, but I like that you could jump between planets and just go get what you're looking for, and they just put the marker right then and there, so you could go get it, no problems. I like that. But as I was saying, when you collect those bolts, I see a glitch or something like that. No, glitch was this little crawly thing. But I felt like maybe one too many, but it was fine. And then what else I got? But it was, I guess, tuned in because I thought I was gonna get something else, and I ended up getting a gold bolt. So there's these glitch challenges that you do, and I ended up getting like 2, I think, bolts from those, and then I peek around in a corner and oh, there go bolt. I'm like, oh, my bad, oops. You know, I go to see this little like dimensional rift to go get a piece of armor, and like right near it is a gold bolt. I'm like, oh, don't mind if I do. So I like the fact that you put it in the game, but then you make it obtainable and it's not stressful. That's one of the things that really make or break the experience for me when it comes to collecting platinum trophies or hunting for the platinum trophy, or trying to go for some of the trophies nonetheless. The only trophy I didn't think I was gonna get was a Krager bear, and I just looked up the quick guide to find those, and it wasn't hard. I just wish I was paying attention to them a little bit more as I was playing the game. So that was the only thing there. Had I been paying attention to the game a little bit more, then I probably would have found the Krager bears, but I thought they were gonna be a little bit more well established. I didn't think they were gonna look so well blended into the world, which is, again, another staple statement of next gen or current gen now with the PS5 and Xbox Series systems. Their visual and graphical prowess, like, we're getting legit stuff now, and it makes it hard to almost see the difference between an item to collect and that's just part of the world that you're in. It doesn't necessarily stand out as much. Even with the gold bolts, they look dope, just kind of floating there in gold, and each gold bolt has like an extra or collectible add-on, so you can change the wrench color, you can change the wrench period. My Ratchet ended up having like a keyblade, shout out to Sora. You can change the bolts to look like other stuff, so mine started looking like coins. You can change the look like whatever you want. You can change, like, I guess the music, or you get musical packs. You can change the visual filter that you're playing on. You can play on noir, you can play on cinema, you can play like mirrored, you can play on all kinds of cool little different features in each one, and then you can change for Rivet and you can change for Ratchet. Essentially, they kind of change. No, they don't change the same, I don't think. But what's cool about them is that you can swap their weapons with a gold bolt that you collect. So it's just like those little, everything had a purpose in this game, and that's what really won me over for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And yeah, I accidentally platinumed it. I platinumed it, I think it took me about 16 hours of platinum. But I played over the course of like 4 or 5 days, and then like one morning, I just, like this past morning, I stayed up and played from like 3-ish, maybe 2:30. No, it was like much closer to 3, like 3:15-ish to like 7:30 a.m. just to finish the game. And that was one 4-hour session. And I had like I think it was like 2.5 to 3 hours before that same day. Basically, that's 7 hours right there. And then like the other day is like 2 or 3 hours here, 2 or 3 hours there. So I could easily comfortably say about 15 to 16 hours is what it took me to platinum and complete Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Solid. Woo! I gave Guardians a 9 out of 10, and I didn't really have much problems there. Ratchet, I think, is a surprising 9 out of 10, and I think I give it a 9 out of 10 just because, again, for as much as I'm not as much into Ratchet, this is how much it won me over, A, but then B, that last trophy that you gotta get is unnecessary, and that's enough for me to knock it a full point. The story was fine, it felt legit. I didn't feel no fluff in terms of story. You literally kind of go back and forth between Ratchet and Rivet in terms of the story, which is fine. I think that's where I kind of knock it, that you know, and part of that point is that I feel like there could have been a little bit more differentiated between Ratchet and Rivet. Yeah, she has a mechanical arm, but I mean, like, maybe her fighting or swing style, maybe she had her own weapon set instead of using the same weapon set that Ratchet got, and yet they could still cross gain experience points or something like that, or XP. Like, I think like little stuff like that, I think they could have changed, but I guess they were literally like mirrored images of each other. You know, they were just dimensionally different. So I can see why they went the route they did, but it would have been nice to see more differences there. They both were basically heroes in their world. So it actually almost would have been, I actually think it would have been cool if Rivet wasn't necessarily a hero. Like in her town or her dimension, like they're considered rebels. But it actually would have been cool if she was kind of anti-hero-esque. Like maybe she still didn't like Nefarious in her dimension, but she also wasn't necessarily a good guy. Maybe she had her own angle, and then it would have been cool to see Ratchet kind of win her over, something like that. Like that actually would have been cool too. But for the subtle different things that I've said, that's enough to knock it a point. I think I give this also a 9 out of 10. So I'm giving this Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart a 9 out of 10. I almost want to give it a 9.5 out of 10 just because of the trophy aspect, the want to explore the world. I think I'm gonna bump Ratchet up to a 9.5. I think Ratchet and Clank is a solid 9.5 out of 10. Amazing, spectacular. Wouldn't trade it for anything else. I'm glad I decided to experience this game. Shout out to Insomniac. I'm about to play back through the Spider-Man games here shortly and come back and probably give you guys my thoughts on those as well. I know I kind of did already, I think, but the experiencing on PS5, that's going to be the big difference in terms of my review there. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you never miss my videos or my live streams. So that way we can sit back, chill out, and see what's cracking. I did drop some gameplay of Ratchet and Clank doing the battle arena stuff on the channel. So if you guys haven't already, check that out. I have plenty of streams playing Guardians, some gameplay content, and of course Marvel's Avengers stays on the channel. Not that I've taken time away from Marvel's Avengers, but because I have a PS5 and I can experience playing other games, of course I'm going to take advantage of playing other games. So hopefully you guys stay along for the journey there. I think the next game I may try to stream is Jedi Fallen Order. I don't think I'll stream the story. I think I may do like the battle arena type stuff. Yeah, just PS5 is fun now. That's where we at. All right, it's your man Versatile signing out until the next video. Wait for